Hey guys, it's me. It's been a while since I've spoken to you and given me some time to reflect, some time to get my thoughts together. And I feel it's time for me to share a couple of things with you. Starting with what's our representation of God? What is your representation of God? And what is the representation of God in our lives? It's a theological argument, so bear with me. First, I need to expound on the idea that came to me recently. If I have a bike frame, a motorcycle frame, let's say it's a Harley, and I just have the frame, no tires, no steering, no seat, no engine. Do I have a Harley? No, I just have a Harley frame. Okay, so what if I put some Harley rims to it? Attach the rims to it. Do I have a Harley? No, I have a frame with wheels. Okay, so what if I source a Harley engine and I place a Harley engine on my frame that has wheels? Do I have a Harley? No. You have a Harley frame with rims and an engine. And please note that all these parts belong to the end product, motorcycle. Okay? So I'm rebuilding something that didn't exist, buying its integral parts separately. Okay, so then I go further and I buy the headlights, I buy the ignition system, I buy the fuel tank, I buy the seat. So I have the tires, the exhaust, the engine, the seat, the steering. I have everything. Do I have a Harley? In this example, we're talking about the V-Rod. The Harley V-Rod, which is a phenomenal motorcycle. So do I have a V-Rod if I assemble its parts? Well, you have a representation of a Harley. You don't have a Harley because you built it from scratch with parts that came from several different places, even though they are all Harley parts. At the end of the day, you do not have a Harley motorcycle. You have a representation of a Harley motorcycle that you built. So when will I actually have a Harley? Well, you will actually have a Harley if you have the Harley as it was intended by Harley to exist. Every part number, every serial number is traceable to the VIN. So every single part from a Harley motorcycle was sourced from Harley to give birth to this Harley motorcycle that you can now buy. And that is a Harley. But if you assemble a Harley from the sum of its parts, do you have a Harley? And the argument is you have a representation of a Harley, but you don't have a Harley per se, because you did not purchase that motorcycle from Harley Davidson. You assembled it from parts, even though it's 100% authentic to the original V-Rod motorcycle you would purchase from Harley Davidson. It is still not a Harley Davidson. So what does this have to do with God? So my argument is the following. God in itself, it is the sum of all the things that represent God. And what things that represent God? Well, mostly the creation, but in essence, those who are conscious enough to understand that God created everything So is it just to say that God is everything in creation, including us? But God will only be the representation of all these things, the sum of its parts. So all of us are representing God through us collectively, and our purpose is to be of service, and be a just representation of God as it was intended by God for us to be. So, is this the do no evil, hear no evil, la thing? Actually, no. How do you become a representation of God is by your choice of actions, by your thoughts, the precursors of emotion, your thinking, your actions, your words. That, in essence, becomes the representation of God, because if everybody is doing their own thing, God is being represented by everyone and the collective. So as we live our lives not understanding what God is, here's a thought. God is the collective representation of who we are, of who you are, what you do, what you think, what you say, how you feel. And that is the essence of God. We are representing God through us. So, how have you been representing God today? How have you been representing God in the past weeks, months, years? It doesn't matter. This is non-judgmental. I'm not here to judge you by what you did, what you didn't do, because everything that you did or didn't do is still a representation of you, which is still a representation of God. And here comes free will. This is the essence and the power given to us to be responsible for ourselves and for the collective through our thoughts, our words, and our feelings. That will be all for today.